we talked about a few things. Like we talked about Sugriva's launching the search for Sita Devi. All the monkeys were assembled. The army of Vanaras were assembled, and they were sent to different directions. And out of that, a few strong people, or the best ones, were sent to the southern direction because of the words of Jatayu was an indication, because Jatayu had already gave a hint that Sita Mata was taken in the southern direction by Ravana. So the best of all these Vanaras, Hanumanji, Angada, Nala, Nila, Jambava, all those people were sent to the southern direction, and they reached the ocean. And at the bank of the ocean, they met Sampadi. If you remember, we talked about that. Sampadi. Sampadi was the brother of Jatayu. And Sampadi's guide, Sampadi clearly told that Ravana had crossed the ocean and took Sita to Lanka. So the next question is, how do we cross the ocean? And each Vanara said, I can do this much, I can do that. And finally, the job came to Hanumanji. Hanumanji was initially not confident, but inspired by Jambava, he realized his potential, and he leaps across the ocean. On his way, he had to face so many obstacles. First, the Mainaka mountain came, and the Mainaka mountain offered obviously some snacks and waters and everything. But Hanumanji said, I cannot be distracted at this time. And then obviously the Surasa came in. Hanumanji tried different things, and finally he changed the approach. He became very small, entered into the mouth of Surasa, and came back. Surasa was impressed. Surasa was Nagamata. Surasa was sent by the Devas. Obviously, that is not Vatmiki Ramayana story, but you see that in the Adhyatma Ramayana. Surasa was sent by Devas to test Hanumanji's strength and courage and intelligence, and everybody was 100% convinced by Hanumanji's strength and courage. Bala, Buddhi, Vidya, all those things, everybody was convinced. And after that, there was another demoness called Simhika. Simhika usually catches people by holding on to their shadow. That is her speciality. You have to understand this is kind of a story also, right? So you have to enjoy that story. So Simhika was trying to stop Hanumanji by holding on to his shadow, and with a left leg kick, Hanumanji destroyed her. And finally, he reached Lanka. And on the bank of Lanka, he had to encounter with Lanka Lakshmi. And with one hit, Lanka Lakshmi was fallen down. And then he searched for Sita everywhere in Lanka. He could not find. And finally, Sita was found in the Ashoka Vatika. Ashoka Vatika. Ashoka is a tree. You can see that in India plenty. And even if you go to Sri Lanka now, you see that Ashoka tree. Ashoka means one, meaning the name itself is so beautiful. Shoka means sorrow. Ashoka means that removes the sorrow. It's a beautiful tree. People used to grow that tree in the houses. So that's a very interesting thing. And then Hanumanji presented Rama's ring to Sita Mata and got conviction. And then Sita presented her Chudamani in return to Hanumanji. And then Hanuman, after completing that mission, he said, let me just give a message to Ravana that Rama's Duta has came, so better hand of Sita. So he started destroying the whole the Lanka. So he killed so many people, including 5 sons of ministers, 5 ministers, and the son of Ravana, Akshakumara. So that they were destroyed. And when Indrajit came in, or the Mekhanada came in, Hanumanji purposefully surrendered with an objective of meeting Ravana. And in his Ravana's palace, the Brahmastra completely got away from him. And he started talking to Ravana. He said, you have to hand over Sita. Ravana didn't agree. and Ravana was trying to kill Hanumanji. Ravana was blocked by his righteous brother, Dharmic brother Vibhishana, and because of that, they tried to put fire in the tail of Hanumanji, and Hanumanji burned the whole Lanka. And it was precisely he avoided Sita Mata and Vibhishana's places. And finally, he came back and he met Rama. And after that, the whole army marched towards Lanka. And on the bank of ocean, they need to find out a solution. So Rama prayed to ocean, Varuna Devata or Samudra, for a permission. And for some time, Samudra did completely ignore him. At that time, Rama said, no, this will not work. He took his bow and arrow. That moment, Samudra came and begged his pardon, meaning for like he apologized and it said, Nala in the group, he will be able to make the bridge. So they built that Rama Setu and the whole constructed the bridge Rama Setu, and the whole army reached Lanka. This is what we saw in the previous class. So let's continue. So before that, let's listen to the Dhyana Shloka of Rama. Sorry, there is a small technical challenge, so we will move on. Okay, so the next is Rama reached Lanka, and there was a huge battle, Rama Ravana Yuddha. And it is said that there is no war in the world like Rama and Ravana. So Vatmiki is very good with Upama. Upama means comparison. Everything he tried to compare with something else so that we understand it properly. That is the purpose of the Upama. So even the best who can, meaning Vatmiki was the brilliant poet who could use so many similes. He could not find any similes to describe the battle between Rama and Ravana. So that type of war it was. And finally, what happened? In that battle, Rama defeated and destroyed Ravana, the king of Lanka, and attained victory. So that was a big battle because everything, Rama was very righteous. And once Ravana passed away, Rama was very respectful to his body and everything. And this battle, throughout the battle, like it was a step-by-step process. You could see so many incidents, which we are going to see in the Yuddha of the Ramayana, which is a very big chapter. Every incident was very, meaning explained in very detail. And in this Yuddha only, you see the Aditya Hridaya mantra, very popular mantra, a prayer to Surya. This mantra was given to Rama by Maharshi Agastya for victory. So we will see that in later. This is a mantra we all can chant. It's a very powerful prayer. So that is part of this, obviously this Yuddha of the Ramayana. So that's one thing. And then obviously initially Meghanatha was killed, Kumbhakarna was killed. Before Meghanatha's death, there was a battle. Lakshmana was injured. That is the time Hanumanji go and bring the Marutwa Mala. So all that big stories are there. And finally, Ravana was killed by the Brahmastra because it was not easy to defeat Ravana. And Rama, this was a great battle, and all Hanumanji and everybody played a big role there. So that's a big one. And once the battle is over, Rama had a little bit of difficulty. The reason is, remember, he had to speak a little bit of harsh words to Sita. So why that happened? Because before kidnapping Sita, the words used by Sita to Lakshmana was very harsh. she used a lot of terminologies which was not good. So Rama, to counter that, he spoke a few words. And after that, hearing that, Sita was very sad. And she entered into the fire. And what happened? From that fire, the Agni Devata came back and declared to the entire world that Sita is noble. Rama knew that, and specifically there is a shloka which tells the inner pressure Rama had gone through to seek this clarity to Sita. So please understand that. So Rama as a human being versus Rama as a public figure is very different. And whenever, meaning later you see this in the Sita Parityaga also, Rama had to renounce Sita because what is his Mukhya Dharma versus Gauna Dharma? Rama as a husband versus Rama as a king. You have to think about an era which is not right now. Thousands of years back, a king should be spotless. Nobody should be able to blame the king. So even if it is injustice to family, injustice to an individual, the king has to follow the public opinion because the king has to take care of that. So we will see this later in the Uttara Ramayana, where Rama plays that dual role. One is Rama as a husband versus Rama as a king. Because when you are a king, you cannot go with your individual likes and dislikes. And you see that in the Sita, after the Sita Parityaga, Rama never sleep. He was always sad. So this is a big topic. A lot of people accuses Rama, but you have to understand all the side. Rama and Sita, their relationship was always pure. There was 100% trust, and you will see that in detail later in the Uttarakanda of the Ramayana. So I'll stop here because this is covered in one shloka. So we cannot, meaning we don't want to jump into this particular topic later. But keep in mind why Sita has to go through this trial here, or the discussion here, is the harsh words or the irresponsible words she uttered against Lakshmana. So that was not right. And Valmiki at this point of time concludes that the words you speak, you should be very careful. Even if it is Sita, you cannot speak these type of words. The words, like, meaning some of you mentioned last time, if you hit, that pain will go in 5 minutes or 1 hour. But these type of words, harsh words, it will not go at all. So once this Agni Pariksha came in Adhyatma Ramayana, it is presented in a very different way. In Adhyatma Ramayana, what they present is totally different. Just to give you the completeness, I will share that story also. So in Adhyatma Ramayana, it is said that when Sita, Rama, and Lakshmana was in Panchavati, Rama knew that Ravana is going to come and take Sita. So what Rama does is Rama gives Sita in the hand of Agni and get a Maya Sita. And who Ravana was kidnapping, not the actual Sita, but the Maya Sita. And after the war, what happened? The Maya Sita was given to Agni and the real Sita was taken back. This is another version of the story. Just for the completeness, I'm just giving it. Okay, so this is done. And after that, what is going to happen? Rama was not a person who always, like, typically what happens if you conquer a country in ancient time, the conquering king just take that country. That is the rule. Even as per Dharma Shastra, that is the rule. Like, suppose you defeat a country, that country belongs to you. That was the ancient rule. But Rama never took claim for Lanka. Rama didn't want to rule Lanka. He made Vibhishana as the king of Lanka. So that is a beautiful incident mentioned. So he never was a conqueror. And also there is a beautiful incident. Vibhishana was so upset with Ravana once he died. And Rama gives a beautiful picture. Rama said, like, once somebody is passed away, there is absolutely no enmity. And he said, I don't have any enmity with Ravana. I had the difference I had. These are some of the beautiful sentences you can see in the Ramayana. I had enmity. I had zero enmity with Ravana. I didn't agree with certain things he has done. So I was only fighting for that. That's it. So that should be the attitude. One cannot hate a person. In Bible also it is said, right? You cannot hate the sinner. You can hate only the sin. That's it. That is the same message. And another thing is that when Rama was asked to stay back in Lanka, Vibhishana said, that is the time the famous sentence came, Janani Janmabhumascha, so Gatapi Gariyasi. My motherland is more dear than heaven. You see that quote left and right. That is from Valmiki Ramayana at this particular point of time. Not at the Balakanda, at the Yuddhakanda, but just a sneak preview. A few more points. So Rama did a few more things. One is when Rama, the shlokas 84 to 86 talk about this. Once, meaning after Rama's victory, the entire universe was like, they became so joyful and peace that you can see that in the entire cosmos. Even the deities, the sages, all the beings, all the tribals, all the people in the world, they were very happy because Ravana was destroying that dharmic system. So that is very important. The entire universe became very happy. That is one thing. And then Vibhishana's coronation, we talked about that. And next one is like Rama felt that he has done his duty. So krita kritya, that is the word used by Valmiki. And then when the devatas were so happy that Rama destroyed Ravana and brought that balance and happiness in the universe, everybody was happy, and they asked, what do you want? Rama said, all the Vanaras who got hit or killed by this war, they should be resurrected. And everybody was resurrected. So Rama was not, he was like, there is sentences in the Yuddhakanda. He said, like, everyone in my team is equally dear to me. I cannot be happy when one person is suffering. These are some of the leadership qualities you can see. He was mindful of everything and everybody. So this is the reason why everybody was resurrected. And the next one is, and you could see, Rama demonstrated a lot of humility at the success. He didn't say that I did this, because he said it is all of your teamwork, it is done. And he acknowledged everybody's role very specifically. And he was compassionate to everyone. And he wanted to go back because he didn't want to stay there. He wanted to go to Ayodhya. And Vibhishana, he said, you can take the Pushpaka Vimana. Pushpaka Vimana is the plane used by Ravana. So in that Pushpaka Vimana, they came back to Ayodhya. But Rama was very mindful. He didn't go to Ayodhya first. He went to Sage Bharadwaja. So Bharadwaja Ashrama he visited first. Everybody stopped because he didn't want to give an immediate surprise to Bharata. So he stopped there, and then he sent Hanumanji to Ayodhya so that Bharata can be informed. So Hanumanji, so Bharadwaja Ashram, if you remember the sequence, how Rama started, right? From the bank of Ganga, with the help of Guha, he crossed the thing and he met Bharadwaja. Where was that? If you remember, like the Chitrakuta was there. From Chitrakuta, they were going to Dandakaranya. So before that, around Chitrakuta, that was the place he met Bharadwaja. So that Chitrakuta, he came back. He met Bharadwaja, and he kept his word with Guha. So when he went, he promised Guha, I will come back, who was considered as a brother of Rama. He met Guha, and then everybody went back to Nandigrama. The glory of Bharata is that Bharata was ruling the Ayodhya, not as a king, but as a representative of Rama by using his padakas. And they actually, Bharata was in the Mambigrama, a village. So Rama reached there, Rama, Lakshmana, Sita reached there. And after that, Bharata handed over the kingdom to Rama, and the whole Pattabhishekam was done. Rama Pattabhishekam was done. So that is the Rama Rajya. And then Rama started his rule. And that kingdom is known as Rama Rajya. So from Shloka 82 to 99, 90 to 99, Valmiki describes this Rama Rajya, the relevance of Rama Rajya. Rama Rajya is considered as the ideal kingdom in the world, in the whole world. So the major characteristics of Rama Rajya, it was dharmic rule. Dharma, he kept dharma more than his personal preference. His personal preference doesn't matter. Like wherever dharma, that is why he had to even renounce Sita to keep the dharma of a king, because his idea was a king should be free from all the blames, whether it is correct or not. That optics is also important. So he would do anything to keep that dharma. So that was the first one. And the second one was one thing that is described in the Ramayana is it was all inclusive. He knew that there could be people who do not follow my vision or my path. For example, in his kingdom, there were Charvakas. You know who is Charvakas? Charvakas are the people who do not believe in Veda, who thinks that the Veda is useless, and who don't even accept anything. And such people were there in the kingdom, but he ensured that their views are protected and they have a voice. Can you imagine that? Even in the modern democracies, people will not do it. So that is the inclusive nature, all-inclusive nature of Rama's kingdom. And fairness, like it doesn't matter. Somebody is big, somebody is small. He ensured that fairness to all. Then contentment. The entire country was completely contented. There was no untimely death. There was no starvation. There was no lack of money for everyone. The job and the rivers were flourishing, and the rains were on time. The agriculture was booming, and there was absolutely law and order everywhere. This is the Rama Rajya. Everybody was content and prosperity was there, and everybody was graceful living. Everybody loved each other. The entire country was like a one big family. So that was the beauty of that country. And spiritual leadership, he performed Ashwamedha Yajnas, and there was that spirituality, and everything was there in the country. And security was there for women and children. There was nothing to be worried. Anybody can walk at any time. There was absolutely no robbery. Even people do not have to lock their doors of the house. This is what is described. 10 shlokas it is described, but more to come. All the mothers were happy. All the parents, the children were happy. Everybody's well-being was completely assured in that Rama Rajya. This is Rama Rajya. Rama Rajya is not a religious kingdom. It is an ideal rule. And that is why Mahatma Gandhi wished our country needs to be Rama Rajya. Rama Rajya should be there. This is the final thing. And finally, Valmiki concludes the first sarga of Valmiki Ramayana by giving one shloka. This shloka tells finally, whoever reads this Ramayana, the Phalashruti of the Ramayana, it said that a spiritual practitioner or seeker become more spiritual and wise if you listen to Ramayana. Then, so you have to understand the terminologies used in Ramayana or any other scriptures. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Absolutely, it is not caste based, because that is why I don't like to use that terminology. Because Valmiki himself, right? He was a tribal by birth, but with karma, he was a Brahmana. So let's not use that terminologies, because that can confuse a lot of people and that can create wrong interpretation. The spiritual seekers and practitioners became more spiritual, and the rulers and administrators, they had a lot of progress. And if you read that, and if you are a trader or a businessman, you will achieve prosperity and everything. And if you are a working person, still you will get dignity, wisdom, and influence. These are the 4 divisions in the society. It is not by birth, it is by the karma and the mental temperament. We will see that in the Bhagavad Gita, Chaturvarnyam Maya Srishtam Guna Karma Vibhagasha. That is the definition. So there are the entire humanity is classified into 4. Not to say that one is good, the other one is wrong, because everybody has to have appropriate spiritual practice. The goal of the Veda is to lead everyone to the highest possibilities of life. So there are research-oriented spiritual practitioners. Such people need to do that type of job. It is not by birth. For example, Vyasa was a spiritual practitioner. Valmiki was a spiritual practitioner. None of them were born to high caste people. They were all low caste people, so-called. So that is why, that is one category. The second one is the administrators and rulers. The third one is the traders and the business people. And finally, there is a working class who need to follow the orders. These are the 4 categories. And listening Ramayana benefit all. And everybody is eligible to study Ramayana. It doesn't differentiate between men and women. It doesn't differentiate with caste. Absolutely not. Ramayana is an asset for everyone, and everyone will be benefited by the study of Ramayana. So let's listen to that final shloka. And then
Srimad Ramayane Valmiki Adikavye Balakande Prathama Sarga.
Sorry, I just
Brahmalokam Prayasyati Idam Pavitram Papagnam Punyam Vedaischa Sammitam Yah Pathed Ramacharitam Sarva Papaih Pramuchyate Etadakhyanam Pathan Ramayanan Naraha Saputra Pautra Saganaha Pretya Swarge Mahiyate Pathan Dvijo Vagrishabhatvamiyat Syat Kshatriyo Bhumipatitvamiyat Vanijjanah Panyaphalattvamiyat Janascha Shudropi Mahatvamiyat इत्यार्षे श्रीमद् रामायणे वाल्मीकि आदिकाव्ये बालकाण्डे प्रथमः सर्गः।
This completes the first sarga of Valmiki Ramayana. Couple of more points to highlight. It is said that whoever study the Ramayana, they will be freed from all the sins, because the name of the Rama is a highest purifier. It is not complicated as Vedanta studies or anything like that, but this is a very high level summary of the entire Ramayana. So if you remember, I will do a quick recap. So what happened in this sarga? In this sarga, Prathama sarga, what happens is Maharshi Vatmiki approaches Narada Maharshi and asks a question. In this universe, is there one person who embodies the whole ideal characteristics of a human being? Vatmiki had a doubt Rama was that, but because of the Sita Parityaga, he was not very sure. That is why he asked that question to Narada. So Narada responds by saying that, yes, there is a person who has all these qualities, and in fact, more than that. So he enumerates 32 ideal human qualities, and he said, Ikshwaku Vamsha Prabha Ramo Nama Janaishrudaha. Rama has that. And with that, he then started explaining the entire Ramayana story for the first time to Valmiki. And one thing I wanted to say is that once Rama came back from Lanka to Ayodhya, the tense used by Narada is a future tense. Rama is going to rule the kingdom, and this kingdom is like an ideal kingdom, Rama Rajya. The last portion I discussed, it was described in this chapter as future tense. So what does that mean? When Narada and Valmiki was doing the conversation, this was in progress. So that's another point to highlight. And then this is the first narration of the Ramayana. And now we will go to the second sarga from next week. Second sarga, all these things are going to be elaborated in detail. We will see the major portion from Valmiki Ramayana, and we will augment that with some of the interesting portions from the Adhyatma Ramayana.